Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Jessica Garrity. I am a registered dietitian and mindset coach. In this series, we are learning how we can balance our blood sugar. And in this video, we are going to talk about meal timing. Let's get started. The entire purpose of this video series is to eat in a way that supports healthy blood sugar. So we want to have little blood sugar spikes after we eat a meal with little blood sugar dips in between meals. And what we want to prevent is blood sugar swings when we have a high blood sugar spike and a low blood sugar dip, and then another high blood sugar spike. And one of the ways that we can do that is by honoring our hunger and fullness cues. The goal is to eat when we are just starting to feel hungry instead of waiting to eat when you are really hungry or starving. And what this does is it prevents low blood sugar before the meals. So when you are waiting until you are really hungry to eat, what happens is your blood sugar is getting lower, lower, lower. And one of the ways to tell if your blood sugar is low is to pay attention to what your body is telling you. Signs of low blood sugar include feeling really hungry, getting lightheaded, having weakness, especially muscle weakness, getting dizzy, feeling really irritable, getting cold, like cold hands and feet, or experiencing fatigue. And when you're starting to get these symptoms, that is your body's way of telling you to feed you. For some people who do not have a normalized eating routine, which just means that they eat irregularly, maybe they skip meals, they intermittent fast, they forget to eat, or they're just not eating enough food, what happens is some of that hunger cues will start to go away because the body is always adjusting to what the feedback that we are giving it. So if you go for prolonged periods of time without eating food, you're just not going to feel hungry because that wouldn't be very fun to feel hungry and then not eat. Your body's just adjusting. But there are other symptoms that you can listen to even if you don't feel hungry that will tell you that it is time to eat. And one of them is just feeling cold, like having a lower body temperature and feeling muscle weakness or feeling really irritable, like that hangry irritable. Those are other ways that your body is trying to communicate with you that it is time to eat because your blood sugar is low. And we definitely want to prevent this. We don't want to wait this long to eat. If you do, it's totally fine. You still want to eat, but the goal is to have a more normalized eating pattern where we are eating when we are starting to feel hungry and we are eating when we are satisfied. So as you can see on this hunger fullness scale, we want to eat in the blue zones. So when we're hungry, typically when a person eats when they're hungry, they're going to eat until they're full. And that is a great place to be when you're eating when you're hungry and you're stopping when you're full. When you eat smaller meals and you snack, you're going to eat when you are starting to feel hungry and then eat when you're satisfied. Both options are great, viable options, and both work. What we are trying to avoid is waiting until we are uncomfortably hungry. And what happens is when we wait this long, the tendency would be to eat until we are overly full. And when we wait until we're very hungry or starving, the tendency would be to eat until you are stuffed. And this is because of blood sugar. So when you eat when you are hungry or just starting to feel hungry, it's going to be much easier to slow down at meals and listen to your body. And then that will help you eat when you are satisfied or full. And this will prevent you from feeling fatigue or lethargy after meals. I'm not sure if you've ever had this experience when you go out to eat for lunch and you're really hungry before the meal and you have this like really big meal and then you don't want to do anything and you just want to sleep. What's happening is your blood sugar is spiking because you've had a lot of food and now you're feeling really tired because your body now has to process and digest all that food. Whereas when we balance our blood sugar, we can prevent that. And one of the easiest ways is just to honor your hunger and fullness cues. And this is especially important for dinner time. I see this a lot where people, especially when people skip breakfast or they skip lunch, they roll into dinner time feeling really hungry and then find themselves overeating. But at night, our body is more in an anabolic state. So in the first step, we learned about eating breakfast because in the morning, the body is in a catabolic state. And being in a catabolic state means the body wants to take and break down the food you eat and turn it into energy for your cells. Whereas at night, the body is in an anabolic state, which means it wants to rest, repair, and build up. This is a good thing, but if you're waiting to eat all of your food at night and you're eating the bulk of your food at night, your body is in this anabolic state and it wants to take all this food and store it for a later day. And this really works if it's a great thing that the body does. It's pretty incredible to think about that the body is taking what you're eating and it's saving it for you so that the next day when you go about your day and you're working all day and maybe you're not eating and you're fasting and drinking coffee or whatever, that the body now has energy to use to support and sustain all of your body systems. The problem is a lot of people who come to work with me are looking to have a healthy weight, and eating all of your food at night does not really support that. I will say it's a great strategy for people who are looking to gain weight. And some people do need to gain weight. And so that is actually a great strategy if that is you. But if that is not you, maybe that's not the strategy we're going for. So I would recommend, eating the bulk of your food during the day, balancing your plate, making sure you're eating enough at meals, snacking when necessary so that when you roll into dinner time, you're just starting to feel hungry or you're hungry, and then you're able to have that self-control and stop when you're full. That's the other thing. I've noticed that a lot of people will feel really guilty when they overeat and feel this condemnation and this shame because they ate too much. But typically the reason why people are eating so much is because their blood sugar was low, they're really hungry, and the body's feedback is telling the brain, is getting all these neurochemicals signaling, eat carbs, eat food, eat. And then the person eats really, really fast and they eat too much and then they feel guilty. And I just wanted to propose a little bit of a mindset shift for you. Instead of feeling guilty, thank your body for, having these incredible biomechanical feedback systems to keep you safe and healthy. And instead, just adjust your approach just a little bit so that you can have a little bit more self-control around meals without necessarily feeling guilty. Because if it's between your self-will and your desire to control your health and your body's biomechanical system that is designed to keep you safe and healthy and to keep you alive, that system is going to win out every time. And these hormones are there telling you to eat food because it wants you to survive, and we need food for survival. So really, a lot of people who binge eat at night just aren't eating enough food during the day. This is especially true if you are struggling with, sugar cravings at night or just food cravings in general at night. One of the most common reasons for that is just not eating enough food during the day, and you may be pleasantly surprised to find out that all you had to do was eat more food during the day, balance your plate with the right nutrients, and then boom, you're going to dinner time just starting to feel hungry. You have this amazing ability to stop when you're full, and you don't have to feel guilty, and then you can go to bed not on a stuffed full stomach, and you can sleep better and enjoy your night. So I hope that you found that step helpful. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was to make sure that you are timing your meals right. Now, like I said, the body is always responding to what you are doing, and there is no one right way to do anything when it comes to your health, but there can be strategies. And if you're looking for a plan and just a pattern that you can follow that will help keep you on track, I like to be mindful of when I'm eating my meals and kind of have a plan and be prepared for that. Typically, we want to eat meals between 3 to 5 hours, and we want to eat the bulk of our food in the beginning half during the day. So first meal, we'd want between 1 to 2 hours of waking up. So let's say you wake up at 6, you're eating breakfast by 7:30 a.m., and then you would eat lunch around 4 to 5 hours later. So perhaps that's at 12. And then you're not going to be eating dinner until 6 or 7 at night, so you have a snack prepared. The same logic applies for if you have a work schedule where sometimes you have lunch at 12, sometimes you have it at 1, sometimes you have it at 2. You can have snacks that are planned and prepared for you to be able to adjust so that you're not rolling into lunchtime starving to the point where you're eating more and more food, and then you're going to be able to better support your blood sugar and your energy. I hope you found this video helpful. Please share it with your friends if you think that it would help them, and drop a comment in the chat below with how you plan on including or incorporating any of these steps into your daily routine.